Cool. My name is Jeremiah Babb, and I guess we'll talk about this photo on the cover of Resolve Skateboarding Mag. This was at Judd's ramp. It was right outside of Little Five, technically right inside of Little 5 Points. It was in his garage. It was a really awesome ramp, 5 to 7. We got to go there every so often and skate. You kind of had to know somebody to go there. It was, it was at his private house and everything. Decks were really small. Transitions were beautiful. Coping was set beautifully. Everything was great. This is a pivot to fakie and the extension. And I remember being really psyched on this trick at that time because, I was learning them and trying to get better at them. In this session, we actually went with Stormy Pruitt, and Brayden Knell is a photographer here. Yeah. And he was shooting Stormy going frontside wall bash back into the transition, which was really hard and incredible because there wasn't much height right here, rafters to the deck. Yeah. And just skating with him so he'd have somebody to ride with, I was just doing some pivot to fakies, and Brayden was just taking some photos just in the session. Yeah. And yeah, maybe a month or so, whenever, Brayden comes up to the skate shop and goes, check this out. And it was like, oh wow, that's amazing, dude. I can't believe it. I can't believe they put me on the cover and not like Stormy or somebody who's doing something technically better. But the photo does look really cool. Right. And so being in Little 5 Points at that time, you see the Brian Chung with the torque graphic. And from what I hear, there was supposed to be a party board release here. And I don't know if that ever happened, but they never took this banner down. Really wish I knew where that banner was today. Yeah. Because that's really awesome. This ramp was incredible. It lasted forever. Judd sold the house, and we moved this ramp from here to my manager of Elmere restaurant, Jimmy, and we moved it to his house, and we had a good summer on it. So it lasted 2 generations. It was pretty good.
And then the For the Krew, a couple of years later.
Yeah, this is a couple of years later. These guys are from Florida. So,
but then we got you're on the cover with Justin Brock and Grant Taylor's names mentioned.
Absolutely.
Georgia on my mind.
And this is when For the Krew was a good magazine because I think Tony Reddington did it. Yep. He's a Jacksonville guy, and he was always down to like keep it really southern, and that's kind of what I was really into at the time. Right. And yeah, so he was going to do a whole Georgia issue, and he was talking to Ryan Flynn about getting a photo that kind of encapsulates Georgia. What do you do? And so we came up with this idea of going to the skate park of Athens in Athens, Georgia. And I was like, backsmith that weird hump thing, and maybe that'll look kind of cool. And I had a couple of other ideas. We went up there. I brought this jersey, Atlanta Falcons Patrick Kearney jersey that I had. Big Falcons fan, obviously. And yeah, the session was going on. I remember the Strat guys coming up because we'd always run into each other. A lot of crews would run into each other back at SPOA days. And I remember Peyton Bartlett giving me crap because I remember putting the jersey on to get ready to shoot the photo. And Peyton was like, oh, got some Hollywood player. Let me get out your way real quick. And I was like, oh God. That totally just threw my whole thing off. But yeah, we got that going, and it turned out to be a really cool photo. Ryan kills it, always has. I was maybe 24, 25, and Justin Grant, these guys are all coming up. Dan Plunkett, David Clark, Matt Fink. And I was kind of like, man, this is kind of like my last hurrah, David Clark, Rhett Freeman, Chris Burns.
And Markovich was living in Atlanta at the time?
I guess so, yeah. I guess Kris was still here. Maybe he had just moved here.
Okay.
And
so yeah. So you have a full interview?
I do, and I hate it. And so, as always. Yeah. But I thought this was pretty appropriate. Not that it's me, but just that it's something like hard to skate, concrete, middle of nowhere, Georgia. This kind of encapsulates Georgia skating that I thought, and that has been passed down to me through the generations. Yeah. And of course, you got Thomas, R.I.P. Yeah. And I'm interested to look at this one again, just to see these young kids. Now I know them as adults. And it'd be cool to see how we've all changed. Yeah. It'd be cool. So.
Classic covers, what comes to mind as far as epic covers from your younger days?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, when I was a kid, the Markovich kickflip.
Yeah.
Down Carlsbad.
Sure.
I think I was like 14 when that came out. Another one of my favorites was I always wanted to get him to sign this mag, and it never happened. But Tsocheff 93 Thrasher. I think he's doing a 180 nose grind.
Hair's all wild.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I just loved that. And when I got to ride for those guys, and even when I met Karma riding for him, I was like, this issue, and he was like, yeah, cool. And I was like, no, you don't understand. That meant so much to me when that came out. I memorized that mag. Those two are the best. And of course, nowadays there's some great ones. Grant, Skater of the Year, is incredible. Dane Brady, front blunt.
Transform the tree, yeah.
That's an amazing one. And man, what's another? Those two probably.
That's
anything
good.
Grant Taylor.
Yeah.
And I really love the Dane Brady front blunt.
Excellent.
So, yeah. And then I guess I was riding Crimson here, and I was riding Consolidated there.
Okay.
I got. You probably don't want to put that in there. I did not get photo incentive for that shirt. I wish I would have. But riding Crux, definitely Satori's Crux, Sessions clothing, and then here I'm probably skating Crimson maybe. I don't know. I rode for Crimson, but I don't know. I probably was riding whether I got it for free or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to support the guys like that.
Awesome. Well, I think that about covers it, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Where are we today?
This is my house. This is my backyard that I've been working on the last 6 years. Trying to build some stuff to retire on, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You ain't got to go to a skate park. No more.
Excellent. Excellent.